PLC Network here with another unboxing. We're here live, well, not live. We're not live. This is pre-recorded, but we're right here at the studios here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Where, everybody's gone. And most of us, at least everybody's been sent home. They're working at home. There's a few of us here still being able to pull off a few things like this once in a blue moon. And we're surviving. We're alive. We're here. And we're recording now. And apparently not shaving until all this is done. I don't know what that's supposed to prove, but what the heck. But we got a new product in today. We have a new webcam, an action camera. This came in from VanTop. We were expecting this earlier in the year. Sometime around January, I believe it was. But there were some setbacks, mostly probably with everything that's been going on in China. It's been really unfortunate for them out there, and we wish them the absolute best. And it's exciting to see that some of the restrictions have been being lifted out there. So because of that, we're seeing stuff like this coming in the mail, and we're right back on track again. So this is exciting. It's exciting for VanTop, and we're going to take a look at this. This is their Moment 5C action camera, and we've worked with one of their cameras in the past, quite recently actually. It was a really good camera. Be sure to check it out, plcnetwork.net. This is going to be one of their newer models that's coming out this year, or should be right around the corner, I would assume. What we're going to do is we're going to open this up and see what it looks like, see what it comes with, and then of course you go to the website once we've had some time to actually test it out and review it. And of course we'll drop some sample footage here in just a moment as well. But this is a 4K at 60 frames per second camera, 20 megapixels for pictures. You have a 6-axis image stabilization. It's nothing like good stabilization. You have a touch screen, so you don't have to sit there and play around with buttons to try to figure out what you're trying to do. Everything's fully touch, and it's waterproof up to 100 feet with the case. It isn't natively waterproof without a case. You do need the case, but 100 feet underwater. So what we're going to do is we're going to open this up. Again, like I said, we're going to see what it looks like and what it comes with. So the camera, it's split between two sections here. The camera's at the top. And like we mentioned before, it's attached to this little plate here. This is just for demonstration purposes, or at least, show and tell while it's sitting on the shelf. So it's just all about product value and presentation. You are more than likely going to throw this away, but heck, what we recommend is keep it. You never know what you can use this for, and you can never have enough mounts, and so, why not? It's a mount, it works with it, so keep it. For accessories, now, VanTop's really good about this. They have generally a lot of accessories. So if you're used to working with cameras like GoPro, you'll notice that all those accessories are, for the most part, optional. You gotta buy them. They're extra. VanTop, they take that extra step and they give you all sorts of stuff, which really gets you going out there no matter what you want to use this for. So this is really cool. Right here we have some zip ties, and we also have a metal safety cable here, as well as we have two extra double stick pads as well. You have a wrist strap here, which is, you can use it for just about anything. It doesn't have to be for a wrist, but it's going to be for both the mount. You can use it for the mount, or you can wrap it around the remote here, which you can control it from your wrist. So if it's on your head or something like that, and you can't really look at the screen to hit a button and tell it to record, just pull this out, wrap it around your wrist with this, and hit go for either picture or record and start or stop. It's pretty simple. It's user-friendly. It's straightforward. But it's nice that they do that separately, so that way you have multiple different options of attaching that to however you want to use the remote. Speaking of mounts, we have two mounts here. One is, it looks like a curved maybe mount. Nope, flat. We might have two flat ones here. But we got two mounts here, so a double stick. One has threading, the other one doesn't. So in case you want to pop off this piece off the bottom here, that's going to open up the hole on the other side of these threads, and you can attach this to a tripod or something like that for easily attaching it to anything with tripod threads. We have another piece of Velcro here. It's just stuck together, so in case you want to use that to strap it around a small pipe or something. You also have two straps here. I mean, they really give you a lot to work with here. So like the Velcro here, which I'd said this was for your wrist. You don't really have to use this for the wrist. You can use this for your wrist. We don't have the Velcro rubbing against you. Then we have a series of connections here. So these are all connectors and adapters that get you going and connecting it to literally everything. and let it be tripod mounting, or if you want to adapt it for different angles, so that way it can swivel left and right instead of front and back. You know, so like if you're using just the regular mount here, you loosen it up and it just swivels, you know, back and forth. So you can use one of these to just change that angle and, you know, make it work however you need it to work out, given your whatever situation you're wanting to use it for. So you have two different types of mounts here. You have a nice curved mount. This one is just the straight, the short mount. You have a bicycle mount here for bars, handlebars. And then you have a clip mount, so you can clip it to something. And then you have another tripod solution here, which mounts without the water case, where you can hook it to a tripod and the camera just simply, looks like just snaps into place. Finally, we get to the charging solution here. We have a micro USB to USB cable. You would think that you just plug it into the camera with the battery in it, and you're going to be charging the camera. You know, that's a kind of a pain in the butt. Well, it's not a pain in the butt when they give you multiple batteries. That's actually really cool. A lot of cameras don't do that, so this is a big bonus right here. But if you're charging it from the camera, then you got to, you know, swap them back and forth and everything. VanTop took it one step further. They're giving you the cable, they're giving you two batteries, they're also going to give you a charging base here. So when you're ready to charge these things, you just pop them in the base, both at the same time, plug this into any kind of wall adapter or your computer or anything, and now you're charging both at the same time. You're not having to take them in or out of the camera each time to do one at a time. So this is fantastic. That really brings us just down to just a few little documentation pieces they have in here. You know, it's just some really simple pieces here that talks about, hey, go download the application, how to use some of the attachments, how to insert the battery into the camera. And for everything else, you're going to be using the instructions. This is the user manual. It's filled with information in multiple different languages. You have a comment card here that pretty much just tells you, hey, what do you think? Did you like our camera? Go check us out online, tell the world about it, or reach out to us if you have any questions or concerns for support. You know, one side says happy, the other one says unhappy. They want to know, what do you think about their camera? So the camera itself, you got the case here, it's waterproof. If you want to take the camera out of the case, you have to flip this little piece on the top. It's just a little hinge design. Pull this back, take it out. You don't have to remove the mount at the bottom or anything like that. From the case itself, you have this front piece right here. It's protected by a little piece of plastic there. You have a nice little hood cap that's installed here. It's not going to do too much in terms of reducing reflections or anything bouncing off the surfaces around you, but it's just a little something of a hood. It looks cool. You have 4 buttons, one in the front, one in the top, 2 on the sides, and all that's going to do is it's going to be able to control all the actual 4 buttons that are on here. The front button right here is the configuration button here. It's going to be your free menu. You know, it has a little config wheel on there, but it's for your menu, and it's also power. So that's why you see a little line here on the front. So it's kind of like a hybrid power signal slash configuration signal there. And you have your start and record or take pictures button on the top. On the sides, the up and down arrows is just like up, down, you know, next, previous, you know, for, you know, previewing images and whatnot. On the other side, the opposite side of the up and down arrows here, we have a micro USB input here. So that's going to be for playing back files to a computer or just drag and drop in the computer, so that you're just using this as kind of like a memory card reader. Or if you have a memory card reader on your computer, there's a micro SD port here. You're going to pop out that micro SD card, pop it in your computer, and transfer the files directly back and forth. You also have an HD out, so that way this can actually send video live out to an HDMI device, you know, a monitor, a TV, or anything like that. It does not come with that cable, so you have to get that yourself. But again, that's HD out in case you want to do something like that. On the bottom side of the camera, there are threads here. Again, this is just another solution for hooking it up to a tripod. And then you have the latch here that opens up and gives way to the battery compartment, and which is, you know, clearly where you're going to insert the battery. That's it. It's simple. You have microphones that are built in. I mean, it's a nice looking camera, and it's tiny. It's really incredibly small. And that's what we like in today's action cameras. Small and versatile and functional. I mean, this thing offers image stabilization and 4K 60 frames per second in a tiny little camera. So yeah, this thing has a lot going for it. But like promised, we're gonna have some video footage coming up. Of course, we're gonna have a full review about that as well at POCnetwork.net. Gotta give us some time. Things are a little crazy out there with quarantine and everything else, you know, so we'll do what we can. But as promised, video footage, let's roll it. So what we're looking at right here is Las Vegas. This is the strip, and it's attached to the side of the vehicle. We have just a couple of vehicles traveling down the strip here, just capturing everything. It's in 4K at 60 frames per second with image stabilization. That's electronic image stabilization enabled on the camera. No other features are enabled. It's just plain video at normal rate at 60 frames per second. And it's capturing everything. Now, despite, having image stabilization enabled, you can see there is a lot of jitter there. Not a lot, it's just some jitter. So it isn't going to be like the best image stabilization that you would expect to find in something like one of the latest GoPros. However, we can only assume for the price of the camera. We haven't really been given a price just yet on this. It hasn't launched yet. But it doesn't look like this is going to be VanTop's flagship, hopefully. So I can only assume that the price is going to be a little bit lower than what their flagship would be. Therefore, this is more like introductory image stabilization, which in that case, it doesn't look too bad at all. So this is the Las Vegas Strip during, right now, it's during the quarantine here in Las Vegas because of the COVID-19 virus. And everything's shut down. All you have is a few people once in a blue moon you'll see walking around or jogging, taking advantage of this very unique situation. And everything else is just the police for doing their job, great job at traffic control and making sure nobody's being, stupid. But there's more of this video online. We'll make sure there's a link in the description. So if you want to actually see this whole video, there's plenty more to this. You can see what the actual strip looks like. Now what you see is time lapse. The camera is still set at 4K at 60 frames per second within the menu, but we have it set to take a picture in the time lapse mode at every, I believe it was 10 seconds. And we let it sit there for a number of minutes, just capturing the weather and traffic as it was going by in this great landscape shot here. You can see it's the camera's a little jittery only because you can tell that we had moved the camera or something to reposition a little bit during its shot. But it looks really good. The resolution is dumbed down a little bit, though. It looks like when you are using it in time-lapse mode, it still is stretched out to 4K, but the resolution is definitely a little bit less when you're using this function. Now we're taking a look at slow motion. We have it set to just normal slow motion mode, still at 4K, but as you can see, the resolution is still, it remains kind of lower. So it looks like when you're using time-lapse or slow-mo or anything like that, you are going to get a reduction in the quality of the video, but the frames are still going to be stretched out to 4K, so you can kind of take what you will from that. But it at least still looks pretty good. And that's it. So again, this is the 5C, the Moment 5C by VanTop. It looks like an incredible camera. It's available coming soon, I believe. Not yet. It's coming out sometime this year, but quite soon, hopefully. We'll have some links as soon as we have that information. And there you go. So don't forget to check it out at POCnetwork.net once we've had a full review for this. And if you liked what you've seen here, don't forget to subscribe below. We have that comment section as well, so we can talk about this. If you have one of VanTop's cameras already or something similar to it, let us know what you think. What are your expectations on something like this? And what are you looking for in terms of features compared to what you already have? So feel free to dive into those comments below. And as always, we thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next time. If you want to stay on top of all the latest and greatest, and or at least the gadgets we cover, remember to subscribe right here. Subscription button. Click it. You're going to want to. There's lots of videos, interviews, previews, all sorts of stuff. Button. Click it.